In a recent video, I talked about the incredible benefits of straw phonation and how it can make your trans voice training practice easier and more effective. Well, in today's video, I'm joined by Whitney Nicole Citron, who's a vocal coach, studio owner, singer-songwriter, and the creator of Singing Straw, the revolutionary straw phonation tool that makes singing and gender-affirming voice training easier. Hi, I'm Renee, and I'm a gender-affirming voice teacher, and also a longtime user of straw phonation when it comes to my own singing practice, and specifically a lover of Singing Straw.
I've seen things.
Later in this video, Whitney's going to share with us an exclusive follow-along straw phonation warm-up specifically designed for people working on voice feminization. But first, I sat down with Whitney to ask her a few questions. Hi, Whitney. Thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat.
Yeah, I'm so excited for your voice feminization straw phonation warm-up. But first, I have some questions for you.
Oh, yes. Let's dive in.
So why did you create Singing Straw?
Oh my goodness. Well, I stumbled into the magic of straw phonation on my own. So I have been a singer-songwriter, forever, and also, a voice teacher, a vocal coach. And I was at a vocal coaching conference close to 10 years ago at this point. And I remember, we were learning all these different topics or all these different amazing presenters. And there was a voice scientist who came and did a whole talk on straw phonation. And I had heard a little bit about straws in water or straws for airflow. And, I'm like a pop singer. I was kind of like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, sounds cool, but I don't need that. And, and so this was almost like, it was almost a joke to me because this very serious individual who was, very well respected and clearly 10 times smarter than me was telling me that this teeny little coffee stirring straw could somehow make me a better singer or help me with my voice. And I just was like, am I on hidden camera? This seems ridiculous. And I tried it in the moment, and it was a little funny. It's anyone who's kind of starting with straw phonation, the first time you do it, you're like, this is weird. It doesn't feel like singing in the same way. And so I don't know. I just so happened to be touring at the time. So right after I went on a tour, and I remember just thinking, I'll just try this out, my voice. I trust this person. They know what they're talking about. Let's give it a try. And it was incredible to me how quickly I noticed a difference in my own voice. And I had felt like at the time, I know what I'm doing, I'm a singing teacher and I've been singing my whole life, not that I'd never had voice issues, but I just kind of I was like, I know how to warm up. I know the things that tire my voice. I know enough, but it shows you what you don't know. And it was incredible, how it improved my warm-ups, how it made me, helped me find that ease, that buoyancy in my voice in the performances and in the shows that I was doing at the time. And also for me, how it reduced the fatigue after. Because when you're touring, you're doing a lot of singing. You're also talking a lot. You're in maybe not optimal locations. So you're in a loud place, you're not sleeping very well. You're lugging your gear. So I don't know. For me, it was just the universe smacked me with how impactful it could be. So I took it back to my students at the time at Songbird Studios where I teach. And we were just using coffee stirring straws because I thought, well, let's try this out. And it was amazing to see how a lot of different voice types could still gain all these benefits from this application. I was like, this is crazy. So a few years later, I was doing it more and more with my students, but we were using these coffee stirring straws. And at the time, it was fine, but they were kind of inconvenient. And I'd go around with them in my bag, and they'd end up at the bottom of my bag. And I don't know, the bottom of your bag is not the cleanest place.
No.
And then they're plastic, so they'd get broken. And, and I was using them over and over again, and they were not that clean. And, at the time I'm in the Bay Area, they started getting rid of plastic and plastic straws.
Right.
And so all of a sudden it was really hard to find them. And I just thought, well, there's got to be something out there. I'll just find a reusable version online. There was nothing that was appropriately sized. Everything was drinking straw sized and or larger at the time. And the more you know about straw phonation, the more you understand how diameter impacts your, the back pressure. I'm kind of one of those people that's oh, it's not there. I'm just going to make it. Why not? And the singing straw was born, it's hilarious.
Well, we're all very grateful. I love my Singing Straw. I've been using it for a very long time.
Yay.
And now I use it with my gender-affirming voice students. So that leads me to my next question. Did you know that straw phonation was being used outside of singing spaces, like in gender-affirming voice?
I mean, a little bit. And the more I learn about it, the more happy it makes me, right? Because I just feel like it's always like straw phonation has been one of those things I'm like, wow, I'm always amazed at the breadth of how it can support not just singers, but like humans in just optimizing their voice and feeling good with their voice. And so it's been really inspiring to see how different gender affirming, like both like teachers, but also just SLPs are using it in their therapies. And I love that. It's like super inspiring and also just warms my heart because like I feel like it's such a powerful thing to be able to support like all individuals in feeling really good in how they show up in the world and how they're expressing themselves and like just giving more access to different voice function that can support your identity. It's really meaningful and I'm super thrilled, honestly.
Me too. So if people want to like hear more of this conversation that we're having, they can go over to your channel and I'm going to leave a link below. So people want to hear a longer conversation. We're about to have that on Whitney's channel, on the Singing Straw channel. But before we jump into the voice feminization warm-up, I wanted to know, how is this warm-up going to differ from a traditional singer's straw phonation exercise series?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, the thing is that straw phonation helps just create more healthy voice function. And then with a more healthy foundation, you can do more with your voice.
Right.
So that can apply to singers, but that can also apply to non-singers, right? And these exercises are just a way to move and explore the different functionality that your voice and your vocal folds can do in your larynx, whether that's singing or speaking or both. And you think about it like the rest of your body. The more that you use it, the more you explore safe, different ways of movement, helps you to have more options of expression. And so what we'll do in the warm-up, it will be less focused on a singing, specific things and more about just voice function and moving through our range and what are the ways that straw phonation can optimize that for feminization and also just overall vocal health and phonation. So
I'm so excited to see it. So without further ado, let's jump into it.
yeah.
Before we jump into Whitney's straw phonation exercises for voice feminization, I just wanted to remind you that if you're watching this video in June 2025, my trans voice courses are currently 30% off using the discount code PRIDE2025. My voice feminization course, Mindful Voice Feminization, is my most popular course, so get it now during my Pride Month sale.
Happy Pride Month!
Now, if you're ready to work on your voice, keep watching.
Hey there, so let's dive into our voice feminization warm-up. Now, I always like to start my warm-ups with a simple straw slide from the lowest part of my range to the highest part of my range and then back down, and that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be doing this with a singing straw, and if you don't have a singing straw yet, you can modify a larger regular drinking straw, but note that the diameter is very, very different. So you do have to make changes to this if you wanna get the same impact and back pressure from the straw phonation, which really is the magic. So check out the Singing Straw YouTube channel. I walk through a lot of options for modifying larger drinking straws if that is your option. Otherwise, you can grab a singing straw at the link below with a little discount code special for Renee's audience. So grab your singing straw and let's slide. Now your range might be different than mine. So as low as you can phonate to as high as you can go and then back down. We're gonna do this a couple of times, stretching into those higher frequencies and pitches on the top each time. So nice big breath, sit up nice and tall. Again, you can parallel my movement here, but it doesn't have to be the exact same notes. In fact, it probably won't be. So let's do it again, seeing if you can stretch a little higher. Totally normal if you get a little creak or a little squeak like I did. Let's do it one more time, just waking up that voice. Very nice. Now we're going to pivot off this slide and we're going to do a little siren up at the top or the higher part of your range. Again, we are trying to stretch into those higher pitches and get more comfortable getting our voice all the way up there. So think of this like an alarm or a siren. We're just going to kind of go woo, 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 but with that straw, all right? So nice deep breath, sitting tall. Wherever it feels good, but a little higher than you might be speaking on a regular basis, okay? So again, let's try that again one more time. Really looking for that lightness and that ease and that movement, that flexibility. Next, we're gonna slide on a 5th interval. Now, if that means nothing to you and you're not a singer, no big deal. Just try to match where I am in my voice and sing or move your voice along with me. This is not about perfection, so it is totally fine if you're not perfect. And also, if it feels like I'm too low or too high at any point, you can modify for your own voice. You might need to drop the octave, or you might need to come in a few notes later or drop out halfway. Do what's best for your voice. This should feel relatively easy. It might be in a different part of your range than you're used to because we're warming into a different area of your voice, but we don't ever want to feel pain or strain. So keeping this light. So here's what this is going to sound like. So you hear me moving on that straw from this note to this note, then back down. And again, this is not about perfection, so we're just sliding through. If you can meet me where I'm at, that's great. Again, feel free to join in a little bit later or drop out at any point if you need to. Big breath each time. And as you are singing and creating sound here, we're working out our voice, and our instrument is part of our body, okay? It needs that nice, steady airflow, and it needs a nice, solid, easy alignment. So try to check in with your body. Make sure you're not hunching over. If you can stand, stand. If you're seated, make sure that you're seated in a nice, lifted posture, and that when you're breathing, you're getting a nice, relaxed inhale, all right? Here we go. We're gonna keep going. Great job. Keep it going. Again, join in if it starts to feel like it's more in your pitch range. If it gets too high at any point, just drop out and we'll come back down and you can join us on the way down. Great job. This might feel good for some of you. This also might feel a little high. So again, do what's right for your voice. Nice and easy, a couple more. Now we're gonna turn back down, back around and come down. You got it. Great job. Couple more. We're coming back down to where we started. Last one. Very nicely done. Next, we're going to combine this straw phonation sound with an open E vowel, and we're going to sigh down on it. It will have a little pattern, like a little scale, so feel free to join me if that feels a little too strict for you. Just a slide is fine. So it's going to sound like this. B. All right, so again, matching where I'm at, but if that feels a little too, strict on the notes, feel free to also do something like this. B, right? Just a sigh downward with me. All right, grab your straw. Let's do this together. B. B. It's It's gonna feel a little funny taking the straw out like an explosion of air because all of a sudden you're losing that back pressure, but it's also training our voice and our instrument to maximize and optimize, which is what the singing straw is helping us do for ease and efficiency. So then when we get to that E vowel, it's much lighter than maybe we were doing it before. So here we go. B. Smile a little on this E too. B. It's going to give you a little bit more brightness, which will be helpful. B. B. Great. B. Now, if at any point this feels too high, drop out. That's okay. B. 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 And we're going to bring it back down now. B. B. Again, every voice is different, so it's okay if you're in a different spot than I am. It's okay if you needed to drop out a little on the top notes. Here we go. B. 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 All the way back down, a little smile on the way. B. B. Two more. B. Last one. B. Beautiful. Next, we're going to take 3 slides back to back. So this is building off of the straw slide we did in the beginning, but we're going to do that first, then move to a V slide. So another semi-occlusion on a V sound. And then the third is going to be an E vowel, right? With that smile and that brightness and that lightness that we were doing just now on the previous exercise. So it'll sound like this. And again, I want you to go as low to as high as you can go in your voice and then back down, and know that your range might be a little different than mine, and that is cool. So it's going to sound like this. Right? So first the straw, second the V, the V, and third that E vowel. Here we go. Nice, tall, big breath. Take your time. And then the E. This will get easier and easier with time, but you're training your instrument to work efficiently and easily, so that will help you reach higher pitches and get a brighter, easier, lighter sound that sometimes is associated with feminization, right? Or a more feminine voice. The last exercise we're going to do is all about going from your singing straw to speech. And what we're doing in this voice feminization warm-up is getting your instrument ready to be stretched and easy and open, so that you can then express your voice and use different nuances and different tones and different flavors that are going to be more aligned with how you want to present to the world. So we are using the straw to essentially stretch out and optimize our vocal fold function. So on this, what I'm going to have you do is we're going to start kind of like we did with that exercise where we sang after the straw, or on the same, we removed our straw in the middle of the scale. We're going to be doing the same thing. So you're going to be exhaling on the straw and using the straw, and then you're going to move the straw away and move into some speech. And so I just want you to say, hello, my name is, and whatever your name is, okay? And so I'll say, hello, my name is Whitney. And we're gonna combine that with a little straw. I know this sounds goofy, but I promise you it is helping your instrument function better. So we're gonna start by just kind of phonating in the straw somewhere in the middle of our range, maybe middle high, if you will. And then you're gonna move right, taking that straw out to speech, just like this. Hello, my name is Whitney. Let me try that again. Hello, my name is Whitney. And when you're speaking, I want you to move around with your voice a little bit. See if you can go up, see if you can go down. Again, starting that straw kind of mid-high in your speaking range. Hello, my name is Whitney. One more time. Hello, my name is Whitney. I know, super goofy, but these exercises are really going to help you optimize not only your vocal health and your voice function, but they're going to help you find more ease and resonance so you have more options in your speech and the way that you speak and sound to the world. Awesome. That is it. Simple, quick, and easy. Remember, a vocal warm-up doesn't have to be long, complicated, or boring to actually be effective. And by using the singing straw, you're maximizing that efficiency of the voice and helping optimize for more flexibility and more ease and more resonance, which is oftentimes associated with a more feminine sound. So it's giving you more options and more vocal health. I hope your voice feels wonderful after that warm-up. And if you're interested in finding out more, check out our Singing Straw YouTube channel, where we have tons of vocal warm-ups and workouts just like this.
How are you feeling after that warm-up? Let me know in the comments. If you want to learn more about straw phonation, please check out my other video that explains the science of straw phonation and semi-occluded vocal tract exercises in general. And if you want to get your own singing straw, you can use the link in the description to get 10% off. Or if you're watching in June of 2025, you can use code PRIDE2025 to get 20% off. And also, if you want to see more of my interview with Whitney, we continued our conversation over on the Singing Straw YouTube channel, and you can check it out right now. If you're watching this video after June of 2025 and you missed all these Pride sales, then I recommend getting on my newsletter at the link in the description so you don't miss the next one. That's all for today. My name's Renee, and I hope this helps. Do you want to do some close-ups of the singing straw, or we can use the ones from the last video? Does the microphone look weird in that you can't hold it steady? Might get my upper body workout in.
Oh, I know.
Easy peasy.
All right, wonderful. Oh,
Great.
You know when you're having one of those days where you're like, thank God one task is complete, because I needed that.